Hello, dear mixed and biracial community. Welcome back. Let me pull up today's photo for today. Sorry about that. So today's topic is gonna be MLS episode 7. And for MLS episode 7, today's topic is going to be about problems within the mixed and biracial MGM community. Okay, so this is a part 2 of the video that I did last time. So just a follow up. One problem in today's video that I'm gonna discuss a lot of problems, but starting off, for starters, one of the problems that I see within the mixed biracial MGM community is that the the black mom versus white mom rhetoric. I am tired of seeing the white mom versus black mom rhetoric, and it's just like I'm gonna make a video getting more deeper into that specific topic in my future videos, but I'm constantly seeing black moms saying that they're better than white moms saying that they're better than black moms. I'm seeing people say that biracials with black moms are better because they're better grounded, etc., etc. I'm just seeing this war, and even some biracials saying them that have white moms are better than the ones with black moms because the ones with black moms are horrible. I don't know, but I'm just seeing and constantly seeing a pattern of this whole black mom versus white mom biracial war, and we need to address that, because there's gonna be good white moms, good black moms, and bad white moms, bad black moms. Okay, so let's just cut the bullcrap. I see it as another another way to spread division within the biracial community, within the biracial mixed race community. I also see the dads, also see people talking about black dads versus white dads and etc. and that little war, but it's not as big as the black moms versus white moms war debate. Yeah. So that's a problem, a huge problem within the biracial mix MGM community that needs to be solved. Another problem that I see within the community is how do I put this? People pitting mixed race people to get against each other, and by that they're trying to say which mixed race person of mixture gets more or worse treatment than the other. Like Flower Tower, for example, this YouTuber named Flower Tower. If you go to her recent video, she did a video of basically saying who gets worse treatment, Asians or mulattoes. And it's just like, why? It's like, to me, it's really disingenuous, because it's like, why is you up in a business? Like, I thought you said, like, because you're a part of the black community and you're pro-black, but you said, like, folks, like, you said that you mind your black business. But if so, why is you all up in the mixed race biracial sector? And she's known to be revel all up in the biracial community, and it's just like, what? Like, and it's just like, people who do that is weird. Like, why is you trying to pit biracials against each other, and especially use their experiences to invalidate one another, like, as if both don't experience bad hardships enough. But you trying to say, it's just like, it's just like with the colorism stuff, only the black and white community, they're trying to get into the spaces of biracials, they're trying to infiltrate the spaces of biracials and MGMs and start mess, try to divide us, you know, and then that whole which one experiences worse treatment, Asians versus mulatto. Are you kidding me? You know, like, you know, that's already another thing to spread more division further, you know. So we need to as a community kick these folks out. We need to recognize the behaviors, and we need to kick a lot of these folks out the community, or ignore them, or just kick them out. That'd be better. But it's important that we do so, because if we don't recognize these behaviors and stuff, before you know it, they've been infiltrated the community, and then, you know, we will look back and we be like, wait a minute, why are all of our people fighting against each other? Why is the biracial mixed race MGM community falling apart? And then turns out it's because the black and white community infiltrated the mixed and MGM spaces. Okay? Okay? And we don't want that. You know, we don't want that. We don't need that. You know? So, whenever you recognize, even like, I don't want to say this, but I do want to say that I do need to say this. I think that there are some white and black people creating fake accounts to pretend to be mixed race, biracial, just so that they can gain information on the mixed race MGM community, so that when they go back to their communities, they can use that information against us. Okay? So be careful, my biracials, mixed race MGM people. You know, be careful who you tell and share your business to, even your community, your channels, because not everybody has the best interest in you. It could be your friends, your family, people online, your online friends, you know, especially if they're in the black community or white community. Okay? But even on your channels, be careful what you share or how you say things, okay? Because, again, you want to monitor and watch out, you know. And I'm gonna do a video on that, how to watch out for the subtle hints and red flags of a person that's a possible lurker, you know. So a hate watcher or lurker is basically somebody that will try to go to your page, and watch your content even though they know they hate it or dislike it, and they dislike you or people like you. And they'll either spam your comments with hate, or comment nothing but hate, or they'll stalk your content, stalk your followers, threaten you. Now, extreme hate watchers and lurkers, sometimes they'll go as far as to do something like doxing. And doxing is when they stalk your every move and try to find out information about you from other people, other sources, including online and outside of the internet, and, you know, try to get information, personal information about you to use against you, you know, so everyone could turn on you and tarnish your reputation, possibly. So, again, and I noticed that there's a lot of people that hate the biracial MGM community, you know, and communities. They hate the channel, you know. So I'm just telling y'all, I'm just warning y'all, be careful, because and I've noticed there are some like these accounts will have little to zero subscribers or followers. And usually, they'll say some weird stuff that usually we know us mixed race people or MGM people wouldn't say, but they'll say something that's really strange or weird. And I'm gonna tell you about the signs and what to watch out for in the words and comments. I'm going to tell you about that. I'm going to make a video about that in the future, but as of right now, I'm going to continue on with the other possible, with the other problems that the community faces. Okay, so yeah, I just basically discussed that there are people within the black and white community that will try to use like Wasians versus Blasians or Blasians versus mulattoes, talk about who experiences the worst and less and all that, just to further spread division. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, that I noticed is a problem, is that a lot of mixed race, multi-ethnic, and this is globally any racial mixture, they have talked about experiencing like bullying, growing up and experiencing a lot of bullying, rather it was at school, even in their job places, workplace, or even events, or even by their family members or adults, like a lot, they have experienced bullying, or even by their own peers. So, yeah, I've noticed that has been a problem within the mixed race MGM biracial community, Another thing that I've noticed is a lot of people would say that, like within the biracial mixed race communities, that they experience backhanded compliments. Yeah, I've noticed that, that's a problem. And another problem that I noticed within the biracial MGM spaces is that, a lot of monoracials like to call mixed race individuals slurs, racial slurs, offensive slurs, and I'm going to make a video about that because I just think it's hypocritical how it's racist to call someone within the black community a monkey. It's racist to call somebody within the black community an N-word, especially the hard ER, or the N-word in general. And even the white community is racist to call someone like a redneck, trailer trash, honky cracker. It's racist to call them those things. And stuff like that. But whenever it's the mixed race person, MGM, it's okay to refer to them as a half caste. It's okay to refer to them as a mulatto. It's like, and that's another thing. A lot of people have a problem with the word mulatto, but it's like, how are you going to tell someone not to use the word mulatto that's of mulatto descent while you're using it freely with no problem? Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. That's just like me saying, that's like me telling a full-blown black person, you shouldn't use the N-word. You shouldn't use the N-word while saying the full N-word, and it's just like, what? But yeah, I'm going to make a video about that, but there's a lot of stuff I'm going to make a video about, so I'm going to have a lot of content. But yeah, I just think that's yeah, it's a problem. Another thing that I think is a problem in the mixed race MGM biracial community is that a lot of mixed race and biracial people are gaslit into, so I've heard this term biracial tears. Yeah, biracial tears. And yeah, biracial crybabies and stuff like that, right? And I just think that's like so gaslighting, and it's just like, what, half white tears and all that. Um, and it's just like, if someone's abusing you, I'm just gonna put the note out there. If someone is abusing you or purposely making you feel bad or feel some type of way, they're purposely tempting you, and you react to that, it's called reactive abuse. So, if a person says, "Oh, you're just sensitive, you're just crying," oh, da, 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 like basically harassing or criticizing you because you feel you're only reacting to what they did, there, that's like, no, like, there is literally reactive abuse and gaslighting. So yeah, just pay attention for that. And another thing is that I'm seeing a lot of people, like monoracials, tell biracials, especially the black community, people within the black community tell people, like, whenever we hold the black community accountable, I'm seeing them say some, and I think this is because some of them want to avoid accountability for their actions. They don't want to take it, so they'll say something along the lines of, "Well, y'all mixed race y'all only got smoke for black people. Y'all only criticize or accuse y'all black side. Y'all never criticize or accuse. Y'all never really ridicule y'all white side and have smoke or confront your white side whenever something's a problem." And I'm gonna tell you something. Now, yes, there might be some biracials, MGMs, that might only have smoke for their black side. But I'm going to tell you right now, that is not me. Okay? And another thing is, maybe I have a theory. I might have a theory of why a lot of biracials might just have a lot of smoke or might call out the black community a lot. Guess what? And maybe because the black community does a lot of bullcrap. Like, I don't, like I said, like, yeah, you have white people, like the white community, that might not accept the biracial person, but that's not all the white community. And I'm not saying that's not all the black community either. I'm not saying all black community is, prejudice or whatever against biracials. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that I don't see a lot of the white community spewing a lot of hatred, as much hatred and disdain, and do a lot of the things that the black community does to biracials at the same rate as the black community. At the same rate the black community does to biracials, MGMs, and so forth. I don't see it at the same pace, happening at near the same pace as the black community, okay? And I'm not saying that the white community doesn't, because yes, there are a lot of white racist families that harm and use biracials when it's necessary. I'm not denying it, but also I'm not just gonna sit here and pretend like it's on the same level. That's what we're not gonna do. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like the white community is being problematic and more problematic than the black community. I'm not about to do that, because evidence and social media and etc. will tell you the other way around. Okay, like, I can just go to a mixed race person's channel and I could see hate comments from, I don't even have to scroll, and you could already see there's hate comments calling them "shut up mixed breed" and all that stuff, and usually it's from a black person. So, and then even with the high yellow and all that stuff, light bright and all that stuff, like, going back to the colorism topic, like, I don't even have to scroll and there's already comments, and you, the city of father, I don't have to scroll for that. You already know it's going to be there. But for a white person, I literally would have to scroll, and I had to scroll, and guess what? when I did find a couple of disrespectful, mean comments from white people, it was only like literally maybe one or two. One or two out of a handful, one or two. It might have been like one or two white people that were being racist and whatever stuff like that, but not a lot. But the black community, oh no, it's different. So let's just not sit here and pretend that the black community doesn't have a full hand in, I mean, not full, but most, like a huge hand in when it comes to anti-biracialness, anti-mixed raceness, because that is the truth, you know. And I'm gonna get into that another video. I'm gonna go in depth into that. Like, there's a lot of topics that I'm gonna go in depth into, discussing regarding these topics that I'm talking about in this video. Okay, so yeah, another thing is that I see is a problem in the biracial mixed race MGM community is that I'm seeing a lot of mixed race and MGM biracial people being accused of being a culture vulture, or being told that they can't wear or say something because they're not fully of that culture. So they're being accused of being a colonizer, a culture vulture, etc. They're being accused of cultural appropriation, and even maybe blackface, and it's stupid to me, you know. And it's just like, how can they be appropriator of something that they are a part of, How can they appropriate something that they're literally a part of? How can you say to somebody who is half black, how can you tell them, "Oh, you're appropriating black culture," but aren't they part black? So how can they appropriate something that they are a part of? Like, that doesn't make sense. Now, while I do agree that there is, to some like, there is a level to some extent, because they are only half of that. So I do agree to a certain extent that there is a level, but I'm gonna actually share my opinion. I'm gonna make a video on that. Actually, I'm gonna make some content on that in particular. Of when it comes to the culture stuff. And a few more other things that I think is a problem within the biracial MGM community is one thing that I'm thinking about right now is that everybody wants to humble biracials, MGMs, etc. Like, I done seen it to where some people will be like, "Oh, just because you mixed race or MGM doesn't mean you're special. You're not special. You're regular degler." Yeah, I've seen this type of behavior, like, from both black, white, and etc. communities. people would tell them, oh, well, you make being biracial your whole personality. We don't care. And some people, I've seen some white people will say something, well, as long as you're a good person, then why does race have to be a thing? And why are you, and why are you always making about race, and who cares as long as you're a good person, or as long as you I don't know. And while I do agree with that to a certain extent, I also think it's full of bullcrap, because if we want to look back at, if we look back at things, it's like, white people, wake up. Y'all made race a such thing. Y'all the ones that brought up race. Y'all made the system of race. So while you sitting here saying that race shouldn't be such thing, check your folks, check your people, because y'all the ones that brought race into the world, that made up these terms and labels and all that stuff. So don't sit up here and try to gaslight me and my individual and say that, well, we shouldn't worry about race, and you're a human being, that's all that matters, and but history says otherwise. So don't sit up here and try to, say that race doesn't matter. I see no color, when that's clearly a lie. That's been debunked. So yeah. So yeah. I think I'm running out of ideas in today's video. I think I've pretty much shared what I want to share. If I think of something real quick, I will say it. I'm gonna take a minute and try to think about something that affects the biracial MGM community. Oh, here's another huge thing that I just thought of. People like to dictate who is biracial and who is not. And I've seen this a lot. Like, people try to dictate who is biracial and who's not. It's like, we understand that you can dictate who is black and who is not, who is white, who is not, who is Asian and who is not, who is mixed. I mean, who is not mixed, but Mexican or Hispanic, who is not. But what you're not going to do is get to decide who is mixed and not. And if anything, that's for the biracial community to decide that such thing. You don't get to decide who is biracial, who's not. And I stand 10 toes on that. I stand down 10 toes on that. Like, what you're not gonna do is decide who is mixed and who is not. I don't give a care. I said what I said, and it's gonna apply. And like I said, like, that's just that. And I've been seeing some comments where they'll say, there's no such thing as mixed race. You're either black or you're white. And it's just like, no. They're trying to, like, erase our identities. And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Trying to tell us that mixed race doesn't exist. And it's like, no. Mixed race does exist. You're not about to sit up here and say otherwise. So anyways, I think that's all I pretty much had to say in the video. If I think of something, I'll make a video part 3. But otherwise, I think that's all I've said in this video. So anyways, give it a like and subscribe. Stay notified. And yeah, have a great day.